April 22nd. It's about 78 degrees out here, guys, so it's feeling pretty warm. So we just re-stretched this fencing here, and I just noticed there's little muddy footprints on the bottom of the gate here, like they tried to climb up and over the gate, which, I mean, I guess they could do that, but they definitely could go underneath the fence now that it's tight. But that's kind of interesting. It looks like raccoon or possum, possibly. And yeah, it's very muddy out here, guys, so still drying out, and it feels very humid and warm with the sun. The bluebells are very much dropping their petals and their flowers. You can see it's mostly green looking now compared to earlier when it had a little bit of a blue look going with all the flowers. But now we've got these wood phlox blooming, and they're making a nice patch of color here and there. And then the bluebells are very much past their prime and dropping their flowers. So we got to enjoy those a long time, but now their season is about over and they're going to die back. And we'll probably have stinging nettle coming up next. Speaking of stinging nettle, there's you can already see some coming up here. Right here, we've got the stinging nettle coming up, starting to pop up, and that definitely is something we don't want to walk through, especially with bare skin. You don't want to touch it. I mean, it's not terrible. I was just messing with it because I wanted to see if the young plants, if their barbs are just soft or if they have the poison already. And they do have a little bit of a sting, but it's not too bad. Just kind of like an itchy feeling. But yeah, so once the stinging nettle grows up, it'll be as tall as the bluebells were. And then when you're trudging through it in the summertime, you want to wear jeans or mud boots so that you're not brushing up against those stinging needles. A little friend, some sort of little moth, it looks like, just landed on me. Shadow's enjoying the creek today. Full the water in it, and he's hoping I'll skip rocks, but I already skipped one, and so we're going to keep walking now. With the rain and then the creek washing, we're getting quite a bit of glass and just trash. I noticed this piece here. It's a really pretty blue color, but it's big enough. I think we might take it in and add it to our collection up by the garden with the flowers. And Shadow, we're not skipping rocks. You may not have that. We'll wash it off a bit here in the water. See what we've got. This looks like the bottom of a bottle or something. Maybe some words on there. Some sort of letters. Looks like an N. Maybe it was a mason jar, actually. Who knows? Shadow thinks that oh, here's another blue piece. Everything I pick up is possibly a skipping rock. No rocks. We're not skipping rocks. Yo, so excited. This is glass. I'm not going to skip glass for you. So, as you can see, there's quite a bit of glass and stuff. So, we'll start picking that up as we go. And there's quite a bit in this area. So, I might just make a pile of it. And then it's not in the creek for when we ride the ATV or dirt bikes back here. It's just better to not have the glass in the creek. I think we just found another piece of that blue glass that I picked up, which is in my pocket right now, so I'm not going to be able to grab it out, but looks like the same color of blue and the letters are about the same size as what was on that other piece, so they're kind of interesting. But there's something kind of neat and cool about when you just think of just, a broken piece of glass and just going beyond seeing it for a piece of trash, just seeing it at face value and maybe wonder a little bit about where it came from, how it got here, and what it was for, who owned it. Just looking beyond what you see at face value sometimes is adds just another dimension to the world that we live in. And just be curious about what you find out in the world, what you see that sometimes might seem insignificant, but More or less, everything has a story of some sort. So maybe just take time to, appreciate for a moment that, everything we see has some history of some sort behind it and maybe trash now, but it was used for some purpose before we found it. I'm making my pile of trash, but that could have been a canning jar that someone fed their family food out of. Maybe it's romantic thinking or being sentimental, but sometimes I think it's neat to see things that might have been trash or that are trash, beyond repair. But for example, you see those trampolines ready to go off to the dump. They've got no net, they're all twisted up from, a tornado or something. Or you think about, those old houses in the small town USA that are run down and really need to burn down or get taken down so that they aren't a hazard to anybody. And just think about, the history that's there and appreciate life beyond your own immediate circle. Appreciate life that has gone before you and take time to expand your world, so to speak, by thinking about, the history of something beyond just the face value, where you see, like the broken glass here in the creek or that rundown house that's about ready to give up the ghost and fall to pieces. And just think a little bit about the history that's there, the life that used to be there, and allow your mind to be curious because I think curiosity is a very good thing. It helps us to look forward to change. It helps us to accept change. And life is always changing. So having that curious attitude and mindset about things is really beneficial for us. Shadow's coming back to check on us. Hey, come here. Let me give you pets. He's barking up a tree, so he probably wants to go check that out. But he will stop for pets, right? Yeah? All right, we go. Shadow noticed a turtle on the other side of the fence. Yeah, you can't have it, Shadow. Not for you. We're gonna leave him there. Looks like a red-eared slider, probably. We zoom in. Whoa, that's really zoomy. There we go. You can kind of see the bottom shell is a little orange looking, and then he's got that more flat, kind of long oval shape. Probably a red-eared slider. I think that's something that we could appreciate about kids more often is just their curiosity about life, curiosity about just whatever it is that they don't know about. And they're willing to ask questions. Kids are always asking why, and what, and how, and I think somewhere along the way, as we grow up, somewhere along the way as adults, we become fearful of admitting that we don't know how to do something. And so then we end up trying to struggle through it on our own, or we're too prideful to ask for help because what would people think if they found out that I actually don't know how to do this thing or whatever it is? And being willing to show that you might not know something, not being afraid to appear ignorant. People who are willing to teach you aren't going to see your ignorance as a bad thing, but they're going to see it as an opportunity for you to grow and to expand your knowledge. So make sure, oh man, the wind is so bad right now. Just be willing to learn and to grow. Admit that you don't know things. Embrace that curiosity that we all had as children, and we wanted to learn everything and we wanted to know why and how and what all the things. And I think that would be really great if all of us as adults started to bring that back into our life a little bit more in that not childish manner, but in a childlike manner of just having that curiosity and innocence in that there's humility in asking for help or asking about how things work or why this works that way or why this does that and so on. But yeah, I mean, we could learn a lot from kids if we actually paid attention. Here is another wildflower. I guess it's a wildflower. I mean, it doesn't really look like flowers, but ooh, Deer. Well, as I was saying, these are Jack in the pulpits, and I guess they are considered a wildflower. I'm not totally sure their exact classification, but these just kind of a really unique looking. This is the flower right there. Obviously, you can tell why he's called Jack in the pulpit because he looks like he's standing up there in a pulpit. And then they get these really big tri leaves, and some of them I've seen them as big as my hand. These are obviously not quite so large, but I definitely can find these in the woods out here with very large leaves. And yeah, they're just really unique looking. And these stripes on these are really cool. These must be like fresh. Look at the coloring in there. I wasn't really expecting to see those deer just because, I mean, it is getting later in the day. It's almost starting to be evening. I think it's about 5 o'clock or so. And I mean, the sun is still up pretty high, so I was not expecting to see them at all. But it's neat that we got to see them. We got them on the camera because I was filming those Jack in the pulpits at just the right time. We got to see the deer too. We got lots of birds singing out here today. Yeah, it's a pretty nice day out here for a walk. I am noticing there are mosquitoes now with that rain, and now there's puddles and it's really warm. So we've got mosquitoes coming out, but if we keep moving, they're not too bad. So we're gonna keep walking and finish the rest of our walk. This is pretty in this spot. You can see all those little patches of purple. It's that phlox that is blooming. Let's walk up here. So we've got this phlox that is blooming, and it's kind of just blooming everywhere out here right now. So it's really pretty because the bluebells are dropping their flowers, but now we've got the color from these phlox popping up everywhere. You don't have to bend down as far as the ones I showed in the vlog the other day because these ones are giant. Check out the size of this. Let me get my hand up here for size. Like the leaves on this, like just look at the size of that. Really pretty and just really unique little wildflower that we have out here in the woods. Well, guys, we're going to finish our walk out here, and Shadow's taking advantage of every puddle and stream that we are coming across because it's getting toasty out here. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Make it a great day, and I'll see you next time.